Engineering talents are increasingly becoming scarce, and this is simply because technology, including software, is more or less controlling the direction of the world. My guest is developing engineering talent in Nigeria and talks more about his journey and why this is important. We've got this and others lined up for you. But first, some tech news and updates. This is Tech Trend, and I'm Chukwemeka Agbata.
Technology has to be invented or adopted.
When one's goat gets missing, the aroma of his neighbor's soup becomes suspicious. You will bring 3 red goats, one in beside the kufao, 5 pawpaw seed from the moon, the toenail of a snail, 2 teeth from a Chinese crocodile, flat skin TV, brand new, about 80.
In today's digital world, animation has become one of the most dynamic and fastest growing industries. But even though animation has been around for a long time, not a lot of people understand the concept and how it works.
Oh yes, what you are about to witness now waiting them they call the Abuluke lifestyle.
So, what does it mean? Animation is the capturing of sequential static images, drawings or photos and playing them in rapid succession to mimic real-world motion. This creates an interaction between the viewer and animation itself.
Well, animation is an art in itself, just like normal movie production, but is more of a synthesized kind of art form. Unlike you carrying your camera and going to shoot, in this particular case, everything is done in-house. So animation is massive. It's more than just, it's actually an extension. It's not just a genre in itself, it's also an extension of the normal movie industry. Well, everybody knows about how animation started from the works of Walt Disney. Before then, that actually existed. But in present age, animation has actually taken a much more broader scope from movies. There's no movie that is done these days without animation infusion. So it's actually everywhere, from games to mainstream movies like Marvel and the rest of them. So and then we're even in engineering, in simulations, animation is there. It cuts across almost every industry.
Who is there?
Rose.
Oga landlord.
Our strength don't do, you know.
Animation in Nigeria is relatively smaller than the rest of the world. Although it might not be getting the attention it deserves, growth is sure, and the future looks promising.
I started in the animation industry in the year 2000. That should be 20 years ago. Animation so far has actually grown. It's been growing, and presently we are at a level where we have more animated contents for consumption, both in 2D and in the 3D version of it. You would have more likes. People who actually launch their animation on YouTube actually are getting more likes. It's a content that actually has no shelf life, because animation can be watched at any particular time and it doesn't die. If, for example, like contents like Tom and Jerry, for example, even generations after our own generations will still enjoy it. So it doesn't have a shelf life, and in Nigeria so far, it's been growing extensively.
All may seem well in the industry, but that's not the reality.
The major challenge of the animation industry is education. It's not about government policies, it's not about funding, it's actually education. Because it's very difficult for you to build an industry that is outside of what the educational sector can actually facilitate. So it's not money, it's not funding, it's education. Whatever the investors cannot provide solutions to, you can't find it in the economy. Without education, you can't have human resources for you to do anything with. Then aside that, we are now have government policies. Thank God for the new government policy, which is now up now in terms of tax reduction for SMEs. In terms of that, you have making anything less than 25 million naira on an annual return. You are free of taxes in actually the facials. Government policy is actually helping, but there's still a lot more that needs to be done. The government policy needs to be more channeled towards education.
With a growing interest for animated content, churning out fully indigenous ideas for consumers is not easy.
Well, Nigerians are large on local content. They are really large on local content. But because of the way local content are being produced, they are not produced at the best of their quality due to limitations in terms of the same factor, education. It's actually, you would find more people more tuned towards telenovelas rather than even consuming Nigerian content. And because of the same issue in terms of funding, people pay less attention to developing their content in detail, a reduced production pipeline, so that they can get the content out there quickly because of the costs involved in actually doing an elaborate scripting to production pipeline and also to distribution pipeline. But so far, consumption of African content is very, very low.
As we know, technology is affecting almost every aspect of our lives, and the animation industry is no different. With increased technological advances, animators can now raise the bar of possibilities and hold their audience spellbound.
Technology is everything in the animation industry. For example, thank God for the innovations of 2019 from the big companies like NVIDIA, the big companies like Advanced Micro Device, AMD. And it has actually changed the way things work a lot in the industry. In the early 20s, you would have, for example, like a movie like Jurassic Park. The first Jurassic Park was done on the Pentium 4. And each frame of the renderings took a week. One picture took a week to create. But now, on a simple laptop, you can actually render an entire movie on a simple laptop. The trends as 2019 practically changed almost everything for us in the tech industry, because without the innovations that are happening presently, from the GPU renders to the processor-based renderers to the real-time renderers, it's actually massive. It's a complete game changer for us.
Getting talent is another challenge animators have had to grapple with.
You can't do anything new without the appropriate talent. And that means education. It still boils down to the educational factor, because it's not just about the individual, it's also matters about the quality of the individual, the know-how of the individual, the attitude of the individual, then the quality of knowledge of that particular individual. Once there's a proper education, there's a proper educational system to facilitate that, then the industries will actually thrive. So talent is, for us, is a scarce commodity.
There are a lot of speculations about where animation will go next. Advertising, virtual reality, TV entertainment, movies and 3D are some of the possibilities. But while the rest of the world is already moving far ahead, animators in Nigeria seem to still be exploring their potentials.
You go hear this one. You think in a paradise you dey?
Now, this is the story.
Where my share? Where my share? I dey warn you. I dey warn you.
Wait a minute. Catch him.
Cool. I don't enter. I don't enter. Wait, I don't enter. What do I do? I don't enter.